Yo everyone, welcome back to a new ranking on this channel. I'm Zodiac Arden, and today I'm actually gonna do something I wanted to do for a long time, which I forgot about. My top 10 Pokémon movies of all time. And to be fair, I'm old, okay? I mean, let's face it, I'm 26 years old at the time of recording. At the time you guys will see this, I'm probably still 26 because I'm pre-recording this for June, so I'm still 26. Let me get one thing straight. I don't like the newer generation Pokemon, and then I'm talking especially Gen 7 onward. Gen 6 was already for me, especially when the games were just too easy. So I'm an old rat, okay, when it comes to Pokemon. Okay, let me get that straight. So I just want to give you my top 10 rankings. If you really like more of the newer movies, be my guest. I don't expect them here. I will add 2 honorable mentions right now, straight off the bat. Those are Giratina and the Sky Warrior, and Arceus and the what's named Arceus and the Jewel of Life, something like that. And in any case, movie 11 and 12. So if you guys want to like this video already, subscribe, that would be very nice. Leave your top 10 Pokemon movies list in the comments. And keep an open mind, please. If you can't, stop here and let's just get started. Coming at number 10 is Pokémon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Well, I will admit, guys, I think I have less problems with the 12th movie, with Arceus, than I have with this movie. But I think that my positives with this movie are more positives than I have with the 12th movie. Because this movie is better animated, and this movie has a better set, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, it takes on a thrilling underwater adventure with an ancient mystery, a legendary Pokemon, and a powerful new hero, being the Pokémon Ranger. I mean, I will admit the hidden temple in the sea, combined with the treasure hunting and a bit of magic, it's really cool to see. I will admit, I will really truly admit to you guys, it's cool. I mean, this movie really takes us on a unique journey combining treasure hunting, underwater exploration and mysterious ruins, which sets it apart from other Pokemon movies. And I will admit, the underwater scenes, the Temple of the Sea and the sea creatures are visually stunning. Make it a feast for the eyes. I will admit, those are great. And the inclusion of these Pokemon Ranger is a concept that adds a fresh dynamic to the story, with this Jack Walker using his unique abilities to protect Pokemon and the environment. But guys, really, why does Ash always have to be the hero? Why? Tell me, why is Ash always the freaking hero? Ash gets the spotlight in the end, and when it would have been May to take center stage for once in this movie. She has strong ties to the plot, and her growth could have been more emphasized, especially with her connection with Manaphy. I mean, why is Ash the person who is saving Manaphy at the end? Why? Why? Help me explain. This movie also suffers from really slow pacing. I mean, 100 minutes? Are you fucking kidding me? This movie feels a bit too long for a Pokemon movie. Some parts drag on and on forever, and the pacing is suffering severely from that. I mean, I really think you should have cut 15 to 20 minutes from this movie, making it 80 minutes tops, and the movie will be a lot better with it. And I just said the Pokémon Ranger is a cool addition to the movie. I still hold by that point, you know? I still hold by. But his ability is not being used that much. He uses ability in like 3 times this entire movie. Like I just said, movie is 100 minutes long. This guy is using his ability 3 times in the entire movie. Twice in the first 20 fucking minutes. We are at 20% of this freaking movie, and he's used his ability already twice of the 3 times. I'm like, what? Why? Why? Just why? That's just such big missed opportunity to use this character and this concept better. Why? Overall, Pokémon Ranger the Temple of the Sea is an exciting and visually captivating adventure, but there are just a few missed opportunities with the pacing and character development. While Ash remains the focus, it would have been great to see May step up more. Despite these flaws, it will still an enjoyable watch for fans of the franchise, but yeah, sorry guys, this movie couldn't be higher anytime soon. Number 9 is Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. Well, this movie takes us into a battle between two of the most powerful forces in the Pokemon universe. The mysterious Deoxys at the center of this conflict, and it's actually nice to see that this movie, that's actually one of my best praises for this movie I have, it takes a little bit of a sci-fi route, which is, if you guys know me, is a big plus for me. I mean, I like sci-fi, so that was brilliant. I mean, this film brings us thrilling action, a new legendary Pokemon, and plenty of emotional moments, but well, it's the best. It's still number 9, so shall we? I mean, let's get this straight. It has unique legendary Pokemon with Deoxys and Rayquaza. I almost want to say Dialga. He's not in this movie. And brings an interesting twist to the table as a Pokemon from space. So again, sci-fi, hello, with unique abilities. It's a fresh and exciting concept, and that adds a lot of depth to the story. It has great action sequences, and the movie features some of the intense and most action-full packed battle scenes, especially between Deoxys and Rayquaza, which are both thrilling and visually stunning to see. And like I just said, the great sci-fi theme of this movie is amazing, and I will say, I like the elements of Deoxys coming from outer space and that advanced technology that's used in the plot. It's a refreshing twist on the typical Pokémon movie themes and adds an exciting layer of mystery and adventure. What I also like about this movie is the film delivers some solid character moments, especially between Ash and his friends, as they work together to solve the mystery behind Deoxys and grow really shine through the movie. But does Ash have to be a movie again? I mean, like I just said with Temple of the Sea, it would be refreshing if Tori finally stepped in. I mean, Ash isn't really as big of a hero as he was in Temple of the Sea, but he still needs to help Tori to solve this conflict. I mean, okay, Ash is the main character of Pokemon, yes, okay, sure, but does he always have to be the hero? Again, my question, just answer. Second, the undeveloped side characters are just getting on my nerves. I mean, while the main cast is getting some focus, the side characters, like the scientists and this, are just feel a bit shallow, and we don't get much of their backstories or motivations. I mean, you have this guy with his Blaziken and his two twin sisters. You also have the scientist, like I just mentioned, and you have this big guy who is crushing May hardcore. I mean, like, we know their names, we don't know nothing about them, what they're about, and they're just there for, yeah, for being there. I mean, the guy with the Blaziken is cool, but he starts off like Gary a little bit, like this cold douchebag. I'm like, why? Why? Why are you being a douchebag? The only reason you won against Ash is because he was carrying his side of the team 1v2. How the fuck are you supposed to win that against a full evolved Blaziken and Blastoise, while Ash was using Pikachu and Torkoal? What? So, yeah, that's something. And else, which annoys me the crap out of me, like with Temple of the Sea, is it's slow pacing. Some scenes just feel stretched out, and especially in the middle, and it makes it hard to stay engaged, and at times it just feels like the story drags on. Pokemon movies, like I just said, are not meant to be 90 minutes or more. It's 80 minutes max, and that should be it. I mean, okay, I can be very artistic saying not even 81 or 82 minutes, but think about it. If you have a Pokemon movie that's 83 minutes long, knowing there is after credits with it, I'm fine. But don't make it 90 minutes or more, because you know people are not gonna like it, especially not kids who are impatient as hell. Trust me, I know. But still, Pokemon Deoxys delivers fantastic battles and intriguing legendary Pokemon, but like Manaphy at the Temple of the Sea, it just drags on and on forever. Side characters that are not interesting whatsoever, and Ash has to take this center stage again. Again, I like this movie, and this top 10 is my favorite top 10. Doesn't mean I don't be critical on these movies. Coming in number 8 is Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker. Look, this movie is a magical journey that introduces us to a mystical Pokemon called Jirachi, who can grant wishes, or teleportation, how you want to think about it, but anyway, for just a short time during a comment passing in this movie. This film brings some heartwarming moments, fun adventures, and a bit of a mystery, but Jirachi can be a bitch. Talk on that in a minute. With Max's growing bond with Jirachi and a villain looking to exploit his powers to get to a certain type of legendary Pokemon. Let's dive in more, shall we? Okay, look, I will start with my negatives this time around, okay, shall we? Yeah, compared to other Pokemon movies, these action scenes feel a bit lackluster, with most of the tension coming from Butler's machine rather than the epic Pokemon battles, and this Groudon thing, well, to be fair, I wasn't by it, but I wouldn't be surprised if most of these children watching this back in the day, what year was it, 2005, 4? I'm not surprised if some of these children were traumatized by this goop Groudon with his blue tentacles coming out of the side of his body. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Jirachi, while he is the center of the story, I am annoyed with his childish behavior and whining. Get that thing out of my face. If Ash would be taken by this big Groudon thing, I wouldn't mind. I mean, Pikachu could hop off his shoulder and join Max on Flygon, right? I mean, Ash is still there. It doesn't bug me as much as with the other two movies I just mentioned. But, to be fair, having Max doing it on his own would be perfect for this movie. Not gonna lie there. Now on some positives, the bond between Max and Jirachi gives the movie a heartfelt and personal touch, making it stand out from other Pokemon films. And, well, not much, but it's one of the better ones, let me say that, okay? Jirachi's lore is the core of this movie actually, and the comet and its limited time awake add a mystical feel that makes the story special. But yeah, I will admit, I like that. I mean, but that's something every Pokemon movie does. It brings something new to the table, which is something I can enjoy. Butler is actually too much criticized as being a bland villain. Let's say this, unlike many one-note Pokemon villains, Butler has actually a backstory that makes his motivation somewhat understandable, making him more compelling than most. I mean, let's say this, he's a scientist actually, that works in a circus, but the circus is actually more a setup because he's an ex-Team Magma scientist who wants to deliver Groudon and Magma. The way around, he wants to give Team Magma a Groudon. Wow, holy crap, what the fuck? Wow, okay, holding on, bitch. Look, that's some cool shit. And to be fair, that's something that's never been done. I mean, how many Pokemon movies do we have here in 2025 right now? A lot. And Butler is actually the only scientist that worked for an evil team. Can I just say that the song Made Me Wish, Make a Wish, is just amazing? That song just captivates this movie on point and strict to as hell. I like that song. It's probably one of my favorite songs in Pokemon movie history. Don't get me wrong. So overall, Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker offers a beautiful and emotional story with a unique twist on wish-granting magic, hey, but it's not without its flaws. And the animation, the bond between Max and Jirachi and its charming mythology really makes this movie stand out. It's not really my favorite. I mean, like I just said, Jirachi is just whining, and like I just said, that Groudon thing must have given children at the time nightmares. Not me, but I know 2 people in my class of that year who were tired as hell because they couldn't sleep because of that slimy ass thing. Talking about nightmares, number 7 is Pokémon The Rise of Darkrai. I'm sure my good old friend Leo saw this coming. Ooh, going on that in a minute. Look, Pokémon The Rise of Darkrai kicks off with an incredible battle between Dialga and Palkia that shakes the very fabric of time and space. From the very beginning, the movie sets the stage for a high-stakes adventure, and I couldn't help but think back to the old good days when my friend Leo and I would play Pokemon in school, and I used Darkrai to spam Dark Void and Dream Eater on all his Pokemon. I fucking love this movie. Oh, trust me, I am the sole reason, with my Darkrai, we are the sole reason he's gonna play competitive Pokemon. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. I love this. I fucking love this. Oh. Darkrai, the main legendary Pokemon, is a captivating figure, and unlike many of the other legendaries, Darkrai is more complex with motivations that aren't immediately clear, making it an interesting character is watched to unfold. I mean, he saved someone in the past, and he has a bond with someone's grandmother, and the girl that has the song or knows the song, you know, she looks like a grandmother when she was younger. So he helps protecting her, while the city is actually shrinking because, you know, time and space are, yeah, you know, colliding, bang, 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 and we are all dead. So that's really nice. The movie really shines in its emotional moments, particularly the relationship between Ash and his friends, and the tragic backstory of Darkrai is really nice. I mean, it provides a strong emotional connection that resonates throughout the entire movie. The setting of Alamos Town is greatly designed, I will admit, with a blend of futuristic and old world charm. I mean, I'm more of an old-timer when it comes to that. I mean, I always joke to my mom and dad that I'm reincarnated or some shit because I listen to music from Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Bob Marley and all that stuff. So, seeing that is actually kind of great. Like with the other movies, I have some bad things. The plot gets a little bit overcomplicated. I mean, the story can become a bit difficult to swallow if you follow its conclusion with many twists, including the time-related aspects and the complex dynamic between Darkrai, Dialga, and Palkia. I mean, talking about Dialga and Palkia as well, how the fuck did these two come from? Why are these two at the same place? I mean, this feels like hereditary shit, where the reasoning for this movie's events aren't explored. I mean, the only thing we get to know, mainly, is these two shouldn't be together. Okay, but why are these together to begin with? Why? That's my question. I mean, it feels like the movie tries to do too much, which may overwhelm younger viewers or new viewers of Pokemon. I mean, let's face it. Then, the lack of focus of secondary characters. I mean, Ash and his friends get plenty of screen time. All these other guys, I don't know their names. I mean, it's Ash, Brock, and Dawn. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't mind. Normally, I wouldn't mind that much. I mean, you have 3 trainers who have the Sinnoh starters fully evolved. You have this Lord guy who transforms into Licky Licky. And then you have these 2 guys who actually like each other. And one of this is the girl who has the song. But even these two get the most screen time, and even with them I feel they could have been explored more. So, yeah, Pokemon Rise of Darkrai offers a memorable adventure with a compelling legendary Pokemon and emotional depth, but it does struggle with overcomplicated plot points and underdeveloped secondary characters, and I didn't mind Ash being the hero this time. To be fair, this time it makes more sense. I mean, to be fair, we have not interesting side characters whatsoever, so why not make Ash the hero then? I mean, I didn't care this time. I mean, last time we had May or Max, you know what I'm saying? Or that Tori guy. Would be great in those movies. Here, maybe the girl with the song, but to be fair, I didn't interest in her as much as more people probably did. So yeah, I don't mind this time. So I like this movie more than the rest, as you can see. Coming number 6, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna piss a lot of you guys off here, is Pokemon the first movie. Look, guys, to be real, can we not pretend this movie... I want to sit back, but that doesn't work really right now. But can we just not pretend this movie is automatically the best movie in the Pokemon franchise? Please, for the love of God. Sure, the first movie holds a special place in our memory, and it sure started the franchise as movies, but it struggles a lot with some things. So let's get my 2 negatives out of the way first, because I'm pretty sure the comment section is about to get ugly. First of all, the oversimplified supporting characters. Ash, Misty, and Brock are fine, but the rest is just kind of there to just keep the Pokemon stolen by Mewtwo. I mean, that's something, and nobody's really contributing to the story, and not even Team Rocket. And that pissed me off the most. Team Rocket, who's just there for comic relief. Why is Team Rocket just here for comic relief? Giovanni was behind the creation of Mewtwo. Why is Team Rocket here as a comic relief then? I mean, there is even a couple of seconds in the movie where Giovanni is showing his Mewtwo off against Gary. That's something. The other thing I hate in this movie is the ending is a bit too convenient. I mean, the resolution feels a little too wrapped up in a neat bow. I mean, while the message of sacrifice is powerful and great, the way things get resolved is a bit overly convenient. And especially with how the characters are able to change Mewtwo's heart so easily. Ash is turned to stone, come on! What? That's just the biggest Pokemon... Oh, Jesus Christ. That's just the biggest Pokemon mischief they are using. Just, oh, we do this and everything is fine. It feels cheated. I feel we are cheated. I'm sorry. I mean, on to positives right now. I mean, the iconic introduction of Mewtwo is amazing. I mean, Mewtwo is one of the most memorable Pokemon of all time. And this film gives us a deep dive into his backstory. The way Mewtwo questions its own existence and purpose adds a layer of depth that is rare for a Pokemon movie. I mean, I think nobody is actually doing that. And that makes for one of the most complex, well, anti-heroes for this case, in the franchise. The epic battle sequences are amazing. I mean, this movie has intense and action-packed fighting sequences ever. I mean, the real Pokemon fighting the clones is amazing. Charizard just going full flamethrower on Mewtwo, not even knowing or maybe not even caring who it is. They're like, oh, flamethrower, boof. Oh yeah, and Mewtwo just blocks it straight off the bed. It's like, hey, you want to flamethrower my ass? No, protect, goodbye. Just, okay, to be fair, Charizard was just comic relief, but I allow it. For Charizard, I allow it. Charizard is Charizard, come on. Boop. I mean, he was flamethrowing Ash's ass for how many years? This movie probably started that shit. I mean, okay, to be fair, that was funny. And the movie touches on heavy themes like identity, free will, and what it means to be a true Pokemon trainer. And to be fair, that's something I like, I will admit. So, let me get this straight. This movie has its flaws, but I don't hate this movie. I never said I hate the movie. I just feel like this movie is not the best in the series. And let's be real, is it? Is it? I mean, I can understand that people put it in the top 3 of their list, but best Pokemon movie, my ass, trust me, it isn't. Coming in number 5 is Pokemon Forever. Look, let me take you back for a moment, okay? Pokemon Forever is actually the first movie I watched of Pokemon. I have fond memories of it. I am nostalgic with this movie. I'm also nostalgic with the number 2 on this list. I will get to that, yeah, later with number 2. So, needless to say, it holds a special place in my mind. This film kicks off with a time travel adventure involving Celebi, one of the most iconic legendary Pokemon, or mythical Pokemon this time. And I remember being hooked right from the start, but is it perfect? Not really, but I will talk about positives first anyway. Celebi, the time traveling Pokemon, steals the show. And its connection to the forest and the past gives the movie an emotional depth. I mean, its bond with the characters, especially with the young Sam, Professor Oak, adds a nice heartwarming touch, and that really helps the overall plot of this movie. So, I can give it that. Something else I like in this movie is the unique time travel element. I mean, this concept of this movie, of time traveling, adds an exciting layer to this movie, making it stand out. I mean, there is none other movie with time travel. I mean, we have The Rise of Darkrai with time and space, but time travel? No. Get the hell out of here. And watch Ash and his friends trying to fix the timeline and protect Celebi really adds something interesting and freshness to the usual formula. I mean, the bond between Ash and Sam is one of the movie's strongest points. I mean, their friendship combined with the stakes surrounding Celebi gives the film an emotional weight in some weird way that is rare in the series, making it feel more like an unique adventure. And I like it. And like I just said, young Sam is Professor Oak, which I found out a year after the movie came out, when I was 5 years old. So I already know this for 21 goddamn years, bitch. Now some negatives. My first thing is they really repeated itself with one thing, and that is, why does everybody have to cry their eyes out when something goes terribly bad? I mean, Celebi practically died here, which is actually dark for a Pokemon movie when you think about it. I will give it that, but is it weird to me that, oh, we cry for like 2 minutes and, oh, Celebi's back alive. Or something happens that makes sure that Celebi's alive. There's something else in this movie, with its point being the grandmother of that green-haired girl in the present said the Celebis from the future and the past came back to help their friend. Don't get me wrong, but I know Pokemon is weird with its logic, but if you're time traveling and there's something here going wrong, then, I mean, for example, if I go back or I go time traveling and I die, then there is no future me. Then I die at 26. I don't know how old Celebi is supposed to be when Sam Oak met him back then, but I really think that there shouldn't be any Celebi onward from the future. Like I said, Pokemon's weird with his logic, but with time travel logic, I'm going back to the Future logic then. If you think about it. Another thing is, the villain feels just really undeveloped. I mean, this bounty hunter Pokemon is a bit one-dimensional and doesn't bring much to the table. You have this, you know, the big guy, the big guy with the mask and this big transportation thing. Why does he want Celebi? I mean, yeah, he wants Celebi to take over Team Rocket, but we don't really get this motivation why he wants to. The Pokemon hunter in the beginning with his Houndoom and Sneasel, yeah, also doesn't really hit the target for me. I'm sorry. I don't even know the name of that guy. Who was he? And why is he a Pokemon, yeah, poacher? Overall, Pokemon Forever, by far the most nostalgic for me. I have fun memories of it. I am not gonna bitch about it. So don't let the placement on this list fool you. I really love this movie. I only don't think it's better than the other movies on this list. So yeah, moving on. At number 4 we have Pokemon in the Spell of the Unknown. Now let's talk about it, okay? For many, this movie is a bit of a hidden gem, but it doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. I mean, this movie introduces us to the unknown, mysterious and powerful Pokemon with the ability to warp reality. I mean, I remember watching it and thinking, this is definitely different from the other 2 movies, but does it hold up so far? Let's find out. The only thing I have this movie that holds it back is actually they played it safe with this movie. I mean, it's standard Pokemon shit. I mean, there is something happening. Ash and gang are there to save the day. And can I just say that the little girl just feels a little bit like Max in some areas? That she just feels like a little brat. I mean, don't get me wrong. She already lost her mother and then now her father is gone as well. So her behavior is there, but she knows. The problem is she knows. She knows that Entei is not her father. I will talk about it more in a moment, but she knows it and she keeps denying. So, why? But for the rest, I really enjoyed the movie. I really did. I mean, the concept of the unknown and their ability to alter reality through dreams is a fascinating twist for a Pokemon movie, and it gives the film a sense of mystery and intrigue that makes it stand out from other entries in the series and keeping us hooked up in the story as it unfolds. The movie explores themes of loss and the bond between a child and their parents. I mean, Molly, the young girl, which I just talked about, at the center of the story is struggling with her mother's disappearance, and the film handles her emotion journey with depth and sensitivity. And not only her mother's death, when she goes nuts with the unknown after her father disappears. Like I just said, her mother is not in the movie, and when her father just goes missing because of the unknown, she goes nuts, like I just said. I mean, she really goes a little brat after she realizes. I mean, I'm pretty sure she already realized it earlier that it's not all real. Like I just said, you can do a lot of weird shit when, for example, your parents are missing, and you feel sorry for her, but somewhere she is kind of feeling a brat by stealing Ash's mom, or let Entei steal Ash's mom. I'm like, huh? Okay, that's something. I mean, then you have Entei's role as the protector, and Entei is a delight in this movie. He's not just a legendary Pokemon, he plays a key emotional role as a protector for Molly, and his bond with her makes for some heartwarming moments and providing a great counterbalance to the darker themes surrounding the unknown. And talking about the darker elements, this movie has a surprisingly horrific atmosphere vibe, especially with the unknown's influence over the dream world. The darker tones, the dream manipulations, and surreal landscapes create a unique horror aesthetic that is unlike anything else the Pokémon movies have ever done since. I mean, they kind of did that with Celebi dying in Pokemon Forever, but hell, that wasn't even as dark as this. And it gives the film a distinct edge, which makes it more suspenseful and haunting at a lot of the times. The music in this film is incredibly and really setting the tone for this darker and emotional themes. The haunting soundtrack echoes in this movie and cranks the tension up during key moments, and I have to give my compliments to the eerie atmosphere of the unknown influence. It's an underrated aspect of the movie, and it's just amazing for me. At the end, I feel this movie is really good in telling a unique story with emotional depth, especially with the bond between Molly and Entei and the father. While the pacing, well, to be fair, the pacing was actually quite decent in this movie. This was one of the last movies after 4 and 5 which had a great pacing. So, yeah, guys, movies like this, keep it up. Like I said in the beginning, I like the older Pokemon movies. Unfortunately, I can't put the 3 oldest movies higher on the list than number 3, because the number 3 on the spot is Pokemon the Movie 2000. Alright, let's talk about this movie, shall we? Hell yes, let's fucking go, bitch! This is the film that brought us the legendary trio being Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos. Team Zapdos, and I know a lot of people see it as a classic, but is it really worth the hype? Let's find out, people! I mean, it's packed with big battles and high stakes, but does it bring anything new after the first movie? And the first adventure of Ash, Brock, and Misty? Let's find out. Okay, let me get one thing out of the way first. Brock not being here. I mean, I just said Brock, but it's Tracy. Tracy's in this movie. And we all know how that went, so I mean, let's face it, the makers of Pokemon didn't know how fast they had to bring back Brock into the series, so this is the only film Tracy plays any role under any circumstances. For the rest, I really have only one other thing. Underwhelming villain. I mean, the antagonist, Lawrence III, has somewhat of an interesting backstory, but unfortunately, yeah, he's not developed enough. His motivations feel underwhelming, and despite his role in the plot, he never really seems like a true threat. A more fleshed out villain could have elevated the conflict way more, and you'd have had a better film and something more to fight for. For the rest, let's talk about all my positives. Well, one of the movie's strongest points is the battle between the legendary birds. The visuals of these 3 legendary birds facing off in the sky are stunning, and their elemental powers really create a sense of skill and raw feelings that make the movie really feel epic. The teamwork and friendship theme, this film does a great job of emphasizing in that thing of the power of friendship, with Ash working together with the others to save the world. This message is familiar but always welcome in any kind of regard, and it's nice to see the main characters collaborate with even some unexpected alliances and Lugia forming along the way. So yeah, that's great. And actually this movie has a good soundtrack, to be fair. I would even argue that this is maybe one of the top 2 or top 3 best soundtracks in any Pokemon movie we ever had. There's one movie that obviously did it better. We'll talk about it in a minute. But for now, this movie, the soundtrack is just big highlight. The power of one really setting the tone in this movie, and it's elevating the stakes. The music emphasizes the epic feel of the movie and ties the emotional moments together, making it a memorable listening experience as well. So, this movie delivers some iconic moments with the legendary birds and strong themes of friendship, but the predictable plot and the underused and not really developed villain hold it back to be number 2 or number 1. I think a lot of people see it as number 1. I really don't, and I hope you guys can understand that. Remember, guys, I just said that there's one movie that had a better soundtrack than the last movie? This is that movie. And number 2, we have Pokémon Heroes. Oh my god, I love this movie. I just fucking love this movie. Pokémon Heroes 5 is one of those movies that brings something fresh and exciting to the Pokémon universe. Set in the beautiful city of Altomare, the film introduces us to the legendary duo Latios and Latias. Wrong generation though, but still. Who are as charming as they are mysterious. The visuals are stunning, and there is a sense of adventure that keeps you engaged from the start to finish. This movie stands out in the series with its rich world building, emotional moments, and action-packed scenes. And let's dive into the movie that probably was my number 1 for a long time. Like I said earlier in the video, there are only 2 movies on this list that have no negatives. This is one of these 2 movies. Like I already said, only the number 1 and 2 are flawless for me. One of the highlights of this movie is the introduction of Latias and Latios, the 2 legendary Pokemon that bring a lot of charm to this film, and their bond with each other and their connection with the city give the movie an emotional core. And watching Ash and his friends interact with them feels actually really exciting. The setting of Altomare is stunning with its canals and Mediterranean-inspired architecture. Jesus Christ, I cannot pronounce that word. I'm sorry, guys. The animation is also top-notch, which really, especially the water scenes and city vistas, create a visual captivating experience. The environments are rich and detailed, adding a nice touch to realism and actually the greatness of the world they're in. I will say this movie has the best soundtrack ever. The soundtrack of Pokémon Heroes 5 is one of the best in the franchise. The movie features some standout tracks like I Believe, the title theme, and My Best Friend. And these songs really elevate the emotional tone of the film, helping to express the adventures, friendship, and heartwarming moments that make the story so memorable. Furthermore, the ending of this movie delivers a heartwarming conclusion with the bond between Latios and the city being beautifully resolved. The emotional farewell of the legendary Pokemon Latios is touching and giving the movie a sense of closure that's leaving a lasting impact. And let's face it, Ash getting a kiss from Latias, let's face it, we all know it's Latias. It's actually kind of funny. Let's face it, that's funny. This movie brings a lot of fun elements to the table with introduction of the 2 legendary Pokemon, a beautiful realized setting, a memorable soundtrack, and a satisfying emotional ending. So, if you somehow never watched this movie, just watch this movie, please. We're going to war! Number 1, Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Let's face it, I think the most Pokemon fans who are older have this movie in number 1 or at least at number 2. It's a crime if you don't have it on this spot. Pokémon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew brings a unique mix of mystery, action, and emotion that makes it one of the standout films in the franchise and my personal favorite ever. I mean, I will admit, Lucario is not my favorite Pokemon of all time. Those are Sceptile and Infernape, but introduces Lucario to us, and it's a Pokemon with an interesting and intriguing backstory and an unexpected connection with Ash, the world, because he has the aura. It really sounds like it's something Jochen Meijer would say, the Dutch comedian. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm messing with him. Jochen Meijer, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is another movie that is flawless for me, so let me just start off with a positive, because trust me, it's amazing. Lucario is one of the most compelling Pokemon introduced in the franchise. His complex backstory, which involves his bond with Sir Aaron and his own interactual conflict adds real depth to his character. Lucario's growth throughout the film is captivating and he's a perfect fit as the film's lead character. The animation in this movie is just top tier, especially during the action scenes and during the moments they are in the tree. That's just brilliant. The dynamic battle sequences and the detailed depiction of the Pokemon world are visually impressive. The setting, especially the mystical forest and the aura sphere battles, create a fantastic atmosphere that enhances the movie's impact. The film does a great job balancing mystery and emotion. The quest to uncover Mew's location, combined with the discovery of Lucario's past, makes for an intriguing story. The emotional moments hit hard, especially the final revelations, adding real depth to the movie's overall narrative. The soundtrack of Lucario and the Mystery of Mew is just fantastic, with the music perfectly completing the tone and the movie. Tracks like We Will Meet Again really captures the emotional moments, and the more somber pieces help elevate the film's emotional depth, making the experience feel even more immersive. So this movie stands out. It's my favorite. I have nothing to say about it anymore. So yeah, it's my number one. Come on, let's face it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked this video. Like I said in the beginning, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and give me your top 10 Pokémon movies. And we see you guys next week. Tot volgende week. Later.